this party started because there are a lot of layers to it. I wasn't lazy today. I got a video reference for you guys, and I also have some notes. Okay, so today's topic, if you guys saw the banner I had up earlier, was of an Instagram influencer named Watch Jazzy. Okay, you guys are probably familiar with her. She's one of those Instagram comedians that goes viral every now and then. Her name is Watch Jazzy. She has recently gone viral for her opinions on submission. She was on submission. There goes that four-letter word. She recently went viral for her opinions on submission. She was talking about her relationship with her boyfriend and how she submits to him. Now, it went viral because, as you know, the word submission has got as controversial as the word race. Yeah, who would have thunk it? But the word submission is very controversial now. It sure is. So we're going to discuss that. But before we get into that, and I'm waiting for some people to get in the room, just really quickly, let's take care of the business. You guys already know I am on the block with Jen on Instagram, on the block with Jen on TikTok, on the block with Jen at Gmail. If you want to send me an idea, I may or may not answer you. If you want to send me some fan mail, if you have a question for me, send it to on the block with Jen at Gmail, or hit me at on the block with Jen on Instagram, or on the block with Jen on TikTok. If TikTok is yo thing. Okay, very easy. On the block with Jen. A lot of you guys ask me for my Cash App because you don't like doing the super chat. It's right at the bottom. It is scrolling. It is on the block with Jen, $ on the block with Jen. That is my Cash App handle for anybody who wants to buy me a smoothie. And I literally buy smoothies with the Cash App smoothie money. I really do. I like smoothies. Okay. All right, guys. So let's get this party started. What's up, Rochelle? So good to see everybody in here early. There are a lot of layers to this. A lot of you guys are going to disagree with me per usual. Some of you will agree, but you know me. I take pride in having a very, objective opinion. I know we're in the YouTube streets and people like extremes. They like absolutes. They either want you to, be team woman or be team man. I am team what I think is right and just. I don't really much care for your feelings. If you want to go all the way one way or all the way the other, these are just my opinions. I don't suggest you run off and slit your wrist because you didn't agree with me. Just go on with your life the same way I do when I log off. But tonight's topic is going to be loaded because it's about submission. And a lot of people feel very strongly about submission. So do I. But I think you'll be surprised what my opinions are, believe it or not. So really quickly, before we get into the topic of the night, I wanted to run back a topic that I just had. Thank you, Famecom. A topic that I just had regarding Brittney Griner, the WNBA star who's jailed in Russia. As you know, she pled guilty. The Russians are still not playing with her. A lot of people are saying that she should be free, send her home, send her home. Biden claims he's working on it. My last stream was about Brittney Griner, free Brittney Griner, or play stupid games, win stupid prizes, right? So I don't know how you feel. Free her, bring her home, or play stupid games, win stupid prizes. That was my last stream if you want to see it. And it was an amazing stream with some very intelligent people, okay, some well-traveled people, and they had some good opinions about travel and laws abroad, right? So it was a great stream if you want to know what I feel about the whole Brittney Griner thing. But most recently, she did plead guilty. They're pushing her next trial date all the way to August, and some people are saying all the way to December, okay? So do not play with the Russians. Do not, in general, try to take drugs out of the country and into another country. It is a no-no. I feel bad thinking anyone's going to be jailed for 10 years if it's not an offense against women or children or murder. But, you got to abide by the laws and rules of other countries. Our countries, as you guys know, USA is a clown country. Clowns thrive here. You can get away with anything. I mean, people are sewing dicks to their necks and calling themselves, trans, throat. This is the country we live in. You could pretty much get away with anything here and live freely and be accepted. And you could demand respect. Other countries, not so much. So I wouldn't advise that you go abroad and take anything, a vape, a pen, a freaking shampoo bottle that's over 4 ounces. Don't play yourself in other countries. So I wish her well nonetheless. She's not an evil person, but you know, she did the crime, gotta do the time. And I don't really see her as being the ideal bargaining chip. I know a lot of people are saying, well, we can switch them out. We can give them the master of death, the Russian spy. We can send him over there. Maybe they'll give us Brittney. I just don't think, I don't know if the U.S. should, you know, trade a terrorist for a WNBA star who just felt like she can take her hashish oils into another country. I don't think she's a big enough bargaining chip. I wish her well. So that's the update on my last stream for Brittney Griner. Really quickly, I wanted to I gotta agree with you, Famecom, who travels abroad with drugs. Yes, sir. Really quickly, I'm sure you've seen the twerking politician who is twerking for votes. Have you seen her? Yeah. So our politicians are now twerking for votes. You know, people are split on this yet again. Some people are saying she's doing nothing wrong. She's getting the yes, sis, yes, right? So there's one side that's like, yes, sis, yes, have fun, twerk for them votes. And then there's the other side that says, hey, you're making us look bad. You're making the community look ratchet. Why are you being degenerative? So people are split. Either way, now we know who this woman is. She brought attention to Twitter. And now she's on Twitter saying, hey, I have an Ivy League education. I won a championship. She plays rugby, I believe. I won a championship. So she's very, very smart in the sense of not because she has a degree, because Lord knows we run into a lot of dummies in these spaces with degrees. So that's not why I'm saying she's smart. I'm saying she's smart as far as marketing because she knows the mob, specifically Black YouTube, Black Twitter, Black Instagram, if that's what you want to call them, are the best marketing team money cannot buy. Did you hear me? They are the best marketing team that money cannot buy because they will share and run your name into the ground whether they like you or not. And then all people have to do afterwards is apologize or talk about how what a good person they are. But it doesn't matter because their name is out to the masses. And the thing with faux outrage, right, in our environment is it's very fleeting. It's very fleeting. So the people that are pissed off that she was twerking and making Black women look bad, they'll be on something else next week. Like Beyonce will pull out her titty or Kim Kardashian will wear cornrows. And the outrage will have moved on to something else. But now she's part of pop culture because she's the twerking politician that we all made famous because we were sharing and talking about her and saying her name. So I think she's smart in that way where she knows how to use the mob. And you're going to start seeing a lot more of this. A lot more people are going to say derogatory things. A lot more people are going to bash the LGBTQ. A lot of people are going to be anti-Black or anti-this or anti-that because they know that outrage is going to throw them out to the masses. And all they have to do is apologize, you know what I mean? And, hey, I didn't mean it. I'm this, but I have an Ivy League degree. I play rugby. I won a championship. And you guys are going to move on after doing a great job of promoting these individuals. That is how it works now. So in that way, she is smart. Now, will she win? Will she get the vote? Probably not. But will she be able to guest star on the Young Turks, right? Or be a correspondent on CNN? Possibly, because it's about your following today, right? Nobody cares if you're a dancing monkey, long as you have a huge following on social media. They will give you that airtime, right? That is why we've seen the most despicable people that we can see sitting across presidential candidates today, right? Long as that person has 50, 60, 70, 80 million followers, you can now sit across a presidential candidate and you don't even have to know how to speak English correctly, okay? That's the world we live in. So moving on, I'd like to get into this topic. Before I get into this topic, I will open the panel later. Depends on how I feel. Depends on how angry you guys get. Going back to the main topic, this is the main topic for tonight. I'm going to repeat it for you guys just coming into the room. I am talking about Watch Jazzy. She is an Instagram influencer who recently went viral for her opinions on submission. Some people thought they were a little controversial. Some people thought they were a little nanny and mammy in nature. On my banner, I called her a wet nurse because that's the first thing that came to mind when she was talking about how she submits to her man. Okay, so I have the video for you guys. What's up, Jamael? I have the video for you guys. Tristan! And I'm gonna play the video for you guys. Now, before I play the video, it is a soundbite. Okay, the video itself, it's the interview with Watch Jazzy, is 40 minutes long. So the clip I'm about to play you is not the only thing she said. She went a lot deeper, but it's the clips that are going viral. So I just want you guys to be up to date with what I'm talking about. Her name is Watch Jazzy. And the rabbit hole goes deep with this, and I'm going to explain why, and I'm going to explain to you what submission is and how you guys are confused about submission. Right? There are a lot of definitions going on, right? But I'm explaining to you what I think submission is after I play this clip for you. Listen to this clip and let me know what you guys think, and then I'm going to get into what I think. Before I play this clip, I want you to know it's been rumored but not confirmed. The man she is talking about is Cam Newton. So all you guys that like sports, yes, this is Cam Newton's girlfriend talking about how she treats him. So that's another layer to the story. She is dating an athlete, not married to, dating. So let me play this clip for you guys. And you guys let me know what you think, and then I'll let you know what I think. Yeah. Put on your listening ears, okay?
You know, like packing his bag, unpacking his bag, just making sure all the things that he wants. And like, I pretty much read his mind. So it's like, if I know you and I study you, like I know how you are in the morning, I know how you are about midday, I know when you're in this mood, what you need. Like before you can ever ask me for something, I'm already on it. I mean, he's spoiled. And you know, when I talk to my girlfriends about it, I was like, oh, how are you guys doing? And I'm just like, girl, he's rotten. I'm like, he's spoiled rotten. Like, he's rotten. But I love that. Like, I want him to be that. I think my biggest flex is how I treat my man. And I've been known to love people back to health. And sometimes it's very draining. But my love is my superpower. And I used to hate that about myself. But now it's like, I'm just embracing it. Like, that's who I am. Like, if I love you, I can heal you.
It's your joy.
It is my joy. You know, I love to see him eating the meal that I cooked. I love seeing him sleep easy. Every night, like clockwork, I scratch this man's back to sleep. And I know when he's asleep because I can tell when his breathing changes. And some people might think that's psychotic, but that's like, I just know that's when I'm like, oh, I can stop now. But I find joy in being your rest, you know? So know what that means. And that works for us because he wants what I have to offer.
All right. Sounds innocent enough, right? Sounds like a woman catering to her man, right? If we're just looking at it and not reading into it or don't have any, a lot of, experience with relationships, we're like, oh, she's catering. She's catering to her man, right? Now, it's going to get problematic. You guys are not going to like it. So first and foremost, before we begin, this is not a stream where I'm going to bash women who submit. This is not a stream where I'm going to be anti-submission. Newsflash, I believe in submission. I really, really do. I love the concept. I love doing it when I was able to do it in certain relationships, right? I am a fan of submission. I am a fan of old gender roles. I really, really am. Okay. Like Jazzy, I love catering to my man, right? I love when I cook something and he's eating it and I'm just marveling at how much he likes my food. I like hearing him say, I didn't even eat with the fellas because I like when you cook X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? I'm that girl. 5 months ago, I did a stream. If you guys scroll all the way back, okay, on my videos, I did a stream called Submission Cheat Code, okay? I gave about 5-7 easy examples how women could submit without feeling like punks doing so, right? Just so you know, this is not cap, and I'm not talking out my right butt cheek. I did a stream 5 months ago, submission cheat code, okay? I simplified submission. I also said that there are men who don't deserve submission, but they're still going to want it because it's innate in a man to want a submissive woman, whether or not he has a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. A man wants submission. Being born male, right? Being born male makes him that way. And it doesn't matter. It's not a factor whether he's a broke joke, a dusty, a fuckboy. They even want submission. I broke that down 5 months ago on my submission cheat code video. Now, regarding Watch Jazzy, it was all the rave. All the guys was like, yes, goals. That's what we want. That is what we want. Now, here's where it gets problematic. You guys just heard that clip. When she goes on, like I said, the rabbit hole goes deep with this, guys. It's a 40-minute interview, okay? Now, there's a difference between being a wet nurse, and if you guys are up on your slave language and your plantation language, a wet nurse, okay, was the female slave that they used after she gave birth to her own child. They used her breast to nurse children that weren't hers, okay? We're getting deep here. Stay with me. That is why I called Watch Jazzy a wet nurse, because as she goes on deeper and deeper into this rabbit hole, how she caters to this man who's an athlete, who's very used to having everything and carte blanche and a bag of chips, who's very used to being catered to for many, many years. If you're Cam Newton, not only are you getting vagina thrown at you, but everywhere you go, you are a superstar. And that's whether you like him on the field or not. That's whether you like his Medea outfits or not. That man walks in, puts down his ID, the hotel stops, the restaurant stops, everything stops, okay, for Cam Newton. So he's very, very used to being catered to. So Watch Jazzy is not doing anything that he hasn't seen before. Matter of fact, there are 100 girls lined up to do that and then some. They will suck the fart out his ass because he's Cam Newton, okay? So he's not doing anything that she's never gotten. A lot of the guys that were cheering this woman on have never gotten a woman to submit in that fashion. But you guys are missing a lot, okay? In that soundbite, what you didn't hear was the woman interviewing her asked her, would you do this for a broke man? Well, no, you know what I mean? And then she tried to damage control. Well, what constitutes broke? Because some people could be rich and still have a broke mentality. In other words, you guys, you are not in the tax bracket to get a woman to bend over backwards for you like that. That is what she's saying. She said no. That was her answer. They asked her, would you do this for a broke guy? She said no. So a lot of the guys that were like, yes, I want that. That's goals. Don't qualify. And I know that's going to sting a little bit. Now, you can get a woman to cater to you without a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, but she's probably not going to be as attractive as you want her to be. Or if she is, she's going to be damaged. Okay? Now, watch Jazzy, a very beautiful woman. Okay? But again, you guys just heard the soundbite and got excited. Everybody got an erection. Oh my God, she's packing his bag. He's cutting the corners off his sandwich. He goes on to say he has issues with guess who, guys? Guess who she has issues with? Her daddy. Her father. Her daddy. She goes on to say she had problems with her daddy. He didn't grow up in a loving environment. Okay? The generational curse of men not being able to love women, correctly and abundantly. So what do women do, guys? You guys can finish this for me. What do women do with daddy issues? You guys can finish this for me. I know the submission clip sounded romantic, but what do women do when they got problems with their daddy? They have daddy issues and they start looking for their father in anything that has a penis. And that is a problem. Okay? You do not want a woman with daddy issues. packing your bag, and cutting your sandwiches. She's going to be a nuisance. The interview goes on. And she's saying, I got an A plus in pleasing my man. I got an A plus in pleasing my man. I'm very proud of it. I got tired of people not loving me right. So I decided to flip it and I started using my love as a superpower. I can love you back to health. My man is spoiled rotten. She goes on to say, her man, aka Cam Newton, aka the athlete, she goes on to say 3 times, oh, I talked to my friends and he's rotten, y'all. My man is rotten. He's spoiled rotten. I mean, he's rotten. He's spoiled rotten. He's rotten. Can you imagine what Cam Newton is like in that relationship? But we're just assuming here, just for fun, because we're not in that relationship. But we all know how athletes behave, right? We've seen Cam Newton every now and then. We could kind of get a little idea. Do we know him personally? No, absolutely not. But we got a little idea. If I ask any man in the chat, or any man watching, what do you think about Cam Newton? What do you think about LeBron James? What do you think about Jordan? You guys are going to have a whole bio for me, and you've never met any of them. You guys are going to have a scroll. I think this and this and that, and he does this, and he dresses like this, and I think that, and I think this. You guys know it's true, right? So imagine Cam Newton, the athlete, the superstar, getting catered to by this girl who has daddy issues. It's not going to end well. It's not going to end well for her, because while she thinks she's doing something that's so superb, it'd be superb for a lot of the guys in the chat. It'd be superb for a lot of the guys that was like, yes, goals. But to Cam Newton, she's another bitch. Okay? Remember that saying? The baddest bitch is now the average bitch. That is the reality. Not only that, I say it's not going to end well because she just opened the doors. And let me tell you something, honey. Let's break down this science, okay? Powerful men, listen to your auntie, listen to your mama. Some people call me grandma, okay? Allegedly, I'm 50 in the YouTube streets. So however you see me, I'm probably older than a lot of you, okay? However you want to see me, but listen here, okay? I'm going to give y'all some game. This is free game. This is free game, okay? Powerful men don't like soft bitches. They don't. Men are conquerors. Men are warriors. They love a challenge. They love a challenge. So while she's running around packing his bag, and scratching his back to sleep, right? And she knows when he's breathing and when he falls asleep, his breathing changes and she's cutting his corners. The one that's going to cause an erection in that man is the bad bitch who's going to walk and be like, oh, I don't watch football. What you saying? That's who's going to turn that man on. It is written in the obelisks. It is in the history books. That's why CEOs, okay, are dressing up in patent leather outfits and getting paddled and getting shitted on, and getting peed on, and getting their nuts stomped with a stiletto heel. CEOs, wealthy men who are in power all day long. Men of means and money and power, like women that are strong, like women that are going to handle them. That is life. That is science. Now you guys are like, oh my God, I wish I had to watch Jazzy. Oh my God. Even you guys would get bored. Even you guys would get bored because you've had women like that. You've had women like that. Oh my God. And if I walked in and said, fuck all you niggas, what? You're going to be like, oh, she's feisty. I like that. Look at her. Oh, she's feisty. I like that. Meanwhile, your wife is at home with the curlers in her hair, making that steak the way you like it. It is science. And it's not rocket science. It's just human nature. It's just human nature. And that's why I'm saying that this is not going to end well for this girl. She just opened up the floodgates for every woman that knows what I know. She opened up the floodgates for that athlete, from his exes, okay? From his baby mamas, if he has kids. Don't ask me about sports. I don't know if that man has kids. But if he got kids, okay? Now they're looking at her like a duck. While she's on there trying to make herself like, look at me, pick me. I'm going to pack your bag and I'm going to scratch your back till you fall asleep. It sounds great. Doesn't it sound great, guys? Isn't that what you want? But some of you guys have had that. Some of you guys have had that. And again, I am for submission. I am for submission. But you're not going to like my fine print. You have to be taking care of everything. Everything. That's just me. I'm just saying, you could get you any old girl to be submissive to you. I don't know what she's going to look like. I don't know what she's going to require. I'm just saying me. I am an advocate for submission. If a man's taking care of everything. Because there's a myth that women could be 100% submissive, right? And still have to help your ass pay bills. A lot of you guys can't hold down a whole house. There's inflation, gas prices are up. You need that woman with the degree who's going to go out there, hecha y derecha, and help you pay them bills, help you. You need you a warrior. You need you that Wakanda warrior, right? But then you also want submission. And you have to understand that when a woman is out there grinding 9 to 5 and, okay, dealing with women, dealing with women who are competing with them, dealing with men in the workforce, dealing with traffic, dealing with parking, dealing with trying to get that check, you know what I mean, crossing her T's, dotting her I's, taking care of finances. You're not going to get 100% submission. You are not. It's not going to happen. And if you do, she's not going to be a dime. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Because I'm just talking about human nature here. So prove me wrong. Show me your dime piece. And she got to be a real dime piece. Okay? Because a lot of you guys, you think anything is a dime with a fat ass. Show me your dime piece who is 100% submissive and doing a 50-50 relationship with you. Show me, prove me wrong. Write me on OnTheBlockWithJen at Gmail. Okay, I'll be happy to interview you and your girl or your wife if it's a legitimate relationship. Okay, or you just want me to interview you and you can show me her picture. Prove me wrong. What dime piece that looks like a watch Jazzy is going to be 100% submissive to you? You guys love that word. It's going to be 100% submissive to you, but she got to help you with the household bill. ¿A dónde? What planet? Where? You have to understand that in today's environment, having a woman that's totally submissive and attractive is a luxury, right? And everybody can't afford luxury. Cam Newton can afford a luxury. That's just what it is. And I know you guys, it crunches your buttholes to hear about women want money, or they like money, or they feel stable with money, or they feel safe with money. I know money is a 4-letter word. Is this just a 4-letter word of submission is to women? You see how women hear submission, they're like, eh. That's how you guys feel when you hear the word money. It crunches your butthole. Money? Who wants money? Why do they want my money? I don't even pay for dates. I take women to Starbucks the first go round. I don't want to waste no money. It crunches your buttholes. You hate the word money. Men hate the word money like women hate the word submission. And this is why I say that I stay down the middle. But women want me to choose them and men want me to choose them like everybody else is doing on YouTube. And I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. Because there's too much truth in the middle. So yes, having a submissive woman who's very attractive is a luxury that not every man can afford. But before you guys go ham, using Watch Jazzy as an example for other women, understand who she's dating and understand who she's catering to and understand that out her own mouth, she said, I wouldn't do this for everybody. And understand that she said she has daddy issues. Understand, you can't just use people as an example when they're broken and damaged and searching and pining for love. Out her own mouth, she said she got tired of wanting to be loved and needing to be loved and not getting loved the right way. So she decided to turn herself into love. She heals people with her love. It's not going to end well, especially with an athlete. And when the interviewer went on to ask her, well, does your boyfriend have an A+ in catering to you and knowing you? No. Well, she stutters whenever the interviewer is asking her about reciprocity. She stutters, she finds a way around. you know, saying without saying, that motherfucker don't give two shits. And then they went on to talk about kinks. He was like, you know, because I like a guy with edge. Watch Jazzy, your girl that you guys are promoting, but she's a submissive. Yeah, I like, you know, I like being handled. You know that other word you guys don't like. What are you, an animal? Why do I have to handle you? I like edge. I like when a man tells me, sit the fuck down. This is her words. I like when a man tells me, sit the fuck down. And I'm like, ooh, what was I doing? What was I doing wrong? But that's another thing you guys don't like. You guys don't like when women say, I need somebody to handle me. You guys hate that. You compared women to animals. Why do I have to handle you? Why can't you handle yourself? You don't know how to act? But that's what she said. That's what I'm saying. You have to go past the soundbite. The interview is 40 minutes long. Okay? This girl needs therapy. She doesn't need to be packing Cam Newton's bag. She needs therapy. Because her daddy wasn't there. The capacity, she needed him to be there. So although it made all you guys hard and feel good, it's problematic. Because you don't understand. You have to be a certain caliber of man to get that type of submission. And she doesn't understand what she was doing. That interview was a fucking cry for help. And she made herself a target. She made that relationship a target. Because now all one of them bad bees got to do is be like, oh, for real? I know he bought over there with that pushover. I know he bought over there with that doormat. Because guess who else wants to be handled? Men with money and men in power. They also like to be handled. So while she's there, you know, folding his little clothes, he's gonna love this tie I made him. He's looking at the bad bitch who's at the next game with the thigh-high boots, okay? And her titties spilling out with the black eyeliner, looking at him like, that's what Cam's checking for. Like, how many of you guys have had submissive women and got bored? So when she says she wants a guy with edge, that's another thing that perturbs you, right? What's she trying to say? See, women don't know what they want. Women want the bad boy. I said this before and I will say it again. Women want balance. And a lot of you guys don't know how to give a woman balance, so you automatically, she don't want somebody who's nice. No, women want balance. Balance. But it is a skill. But it's the same skill you want women to have, because how many times have we heard a lady in the streets, a freak in the sheets, right? Isn't that what you guys say? A lady in the streets, a freak in the sheets. That balance, that's balance. That's balance, because you don't want a freak all the time, and you don't want a lady all the time, right? So that's the balance that women want. So when you hear women say, you got to have that edge, like Watch Jazzy said, your submissive superhero. She said, I like a guy with edge. I like a guy to tell me, sit the fuck down. Because it makes me think, ooh, what was I doing? Those are her words, not mine. So she has that issue where she needs to be handled, guys. And you know how you hate that word. You hate when a woman needs to be handled. So my thing is, stop running away with a soundbite when you don't know the psychology behind it, when you don't know the trauma behind it. This girl is still searching for her daddy, okay? Probably wasting some of her best years on Cam Newton, and she's not married, guys. You guys hate that too. I gotta point out this hypocrisy. She's not married. She doesn't have that ring y'all always bitching and crying and moaning about that women don't have. She's not married to Cam. You guys hate you not married. So, you know, you have so many allowances and so many, you know what I mean, so many excuses, and there's so much hypocrisy, you know what I mean? You just stick to the words that you like to hear. He packs his bag. He scratches his back till he falls asleep. He sounds like a wet nurse. The stuff that she was saying, if you just walked in a room and heard her say, you would think, oh my God, she's talking about a newborn. That is the only time I could check all the boxes of everything she said when I had a newborn. I know what he wants before he wants it. That's what we know about our baby. We're watching the clock. We know our baby's going to wake up at this time. He's going to be hungry. He or she's going to be hungry at this time. I look at him and I know what he wants before he wants it. We know when our babies need the diapers changed. That's why, hence my banner. Hence my banner. So let me show you guys what I'm talking about. Porque. Hence my banner. Babies. You see those two men? Babies. My biggest flex is how I treat my man. Verbatim, that is what she said. My biggest flex is how I treat my man. Not the success she's had as an Instagram influencer, not her success getting gigs with notable people like 50 Cent. Her biggest flex is how she treats her man. And you're going to tell me that's a woman that doesn't need therapy? And you guys think that's cute? That's crazy. She even said it sounds crazy because she knows it's crazy. At least I'll give her that. I'll give her that. She knew that. She knew she sounded crazy. So there's so much to unpack here. How do you feel about her saying, I need a guy with edge? I need a guy to tell me, sit the fuck down. You're doing too much. Are you that guy? Are you willing to be that guy to handle her so she can pack your bag and scratch your back to sleep? Are you that guy? Or do you just like the word submission because it gives you an erection? Are you that guy? What are you willing to do for this submission? Let me know, guys. So the interview asked her, what do you ask him for? Is there anything you ask him for? Do you need stuff? Right? Again, reciprocity. She was like, yeah, of course. I tell him, I need him to act a certain way with me if he wants me to be sexual with him. I tell him I need certain communication. Well, while she's saying she has an A+ in knowing him, she's running behind Cam Newton saying, I need you to be this, and I need you to be that, and I need you to be this, and I need you to be this, so I could be sexual. Cam motherfucking Newton, the man who is peeling vaginas off his body because they throw them at him when he walks by. Do you think he gives a flying to do about needing this girl to be sexual when he could walk out the door and chicks are literally bent over everywhere he looks? He's like, oh shit, is that another woman bent over? So of course she constantly has to ask him, I need you to be this. She said, and well, I tell him I need him to be a certain way if he wants him to be sexual. Cam Newton needs to do something in particular so a woman could be sexual. But all he usually has to do is just walk in the room. Do you see how problematic and how terrible this is? But again, you guys hear a woman say, I submit, right? And you get wet. You get wet. So the other girl goes on, well, I like being degraded in bed, right? And it's a sexy thing, right? That's like when a woman is having sex, free game, guys. When a woman is having sex and you calling her a bitch or a hoe or a slut, like, you my bitch, you my hoe, you know what I mean? Women like that shit. You're handling them, right? Some women are naturally submissive. They like that shit. But shut the fuck up. You grab her by her neck. Some of you don't know how to grab women by the neck. Be careful. You squeeze on the side. You don't squeeze the esophagus. You cut off the fucking windpipe. Free game. Some women like that. So the woman interviewing her, I like being degraded in bed. Watch Jazzy was like, me too. Right? So another thing you guys have to consider is kinks. Now, there's a thing called kink shaming. You can no longer talk about what kinks that people like. If a man or a woman says, hey, stick a Corona bottle up my behind, you can't say that's crazy because now you're a kink shamer. So now we got fat shaming, political shaming, relationship shaming, gender shaming. You can add kink shaming to that. Kink shaming is an actual thing. So without kink shaming, be very careful when you're with a man or a woman who likes particular things, specifically being degraded. Because while for some it's just a regular kink and it's sexy because they just like being submissive, for a lot of other people, it stems from trauma. Okay? And you don't want to be cursing a woman out or slapping a woman around or choking a woman, right? Because it's coming from a place of trauma for her. Like she has low self-esteem, she feels like shit, and she could be a beautiful woman, right? She could be a beautiful woman. And her kink may be, I want this man to make me feel bad because I don't like myself. So there's a difference between kink and I don't feel like I'm shit in this world, so punch me in the face, pull my hair, call me a bitch. And how do you find that out? Have fucking conversations, you fucking Neanderthals. Have conversations, find out about her family, find out her relationship with her dad. How does she feel about her dad? How does she feel about her mom? How does she feel about her dad treated her mom? What were her last relationships like? But the whole watch Jazzy thing, and I'm saying this as an auntie or a grandma or a mama or a big sis, however you want to paint me, be very careful about this type of language, this submission language. First of all, a lot of you guys, sorry, don't qualify for that level of submission. Second, women that submit in the fashion she's talking about are damaged. And I said earlier, I believe in submission. I wholeheartedly do. But rarely did I meet a man who qualified for the level of submission I like to do. Rarely, very far few in between. There are too many men out there finding themselves struggling financially, which is fine. Great news, guys. Most guys make all their money in their 40s. So you have time. If you're not in your 40s yet, that's when men really buckle down and make money. So there's nothing wrong with struggling. But I'm talking about even when struggling, men want submission and you don't qualify. It is really no different than, I don't want thunder and lightning to strike, but it's really no different than what Kevin Samuels was preaching. Oh, I just got a cold chill. It's really no different about the women that called up and said, I want a 6-figure man. I want him to be over 6 feet tall. I want him to have 6 inches. What's the first thing you guys would do? You would look at her, well, what do you rate yourself? How much do you weigh? How many kids do you got? Do you cook? Do you clean? That's the first thing you guys did. And you agreed with him, famously. So it's the opposite with women. When we hear you say, I need submissive. Yay, watch Jazzy. Learn, bitches. Be like, watch Jazzy. Well, she said herself she wouldn't do it with a broke guy. And if she's dating Cam Newton, probably anything under him is broke to her. So it's just amazing to me how men and women cheer people on that they don't qualify for. They will use them against you in an argument. They will use them against you in a debate, but they themselves don't qualify for that person. They don't qualify for that person. So it's the same thing as women saying, I want 6 inches, 6 figures, and over 6 feet. Well, what do you rate yourself? Do you cook? Do you clean? Do you have children? Do you have a bunch of baby daddies running around? It's the same thing. When you hear somebody that's at submissive, subservient, and doormatish as watch Jazzy, do you qualify for that with a woman that looks like she does? She's a pretty girl. Works out, all of that. None of you guys would kick her out of bed, I'm sure. You know, when she says, I make a man very easy to love me. I make it very easy for a man to love me. It's puppy talk. We've all had a new puppy. I make it very, very easy for a man to love me. Very easy. It's a puppy jumping at the door when you walk in. Men will get bored. You guys in the chat will get bored. I don't care what she looks like. Y'all will get bored. Because that's how your fucking brains work. You're always conquering. Looking at the next thing. What's going to challenge me? That's your nature. That's your nature. So what is all this talk, fellas? Help me out. Clear it up. What is all this talk? Goals. Yeah, we want to listen to them just like that. You bitches better learn. Y'all better listen to what, Jazzy. Really? Oh, mira, yo no sé. Yo no sé. It's a slippery slope for her. She's a narcissistic man's dream. That is the type of woman that they look for. The ones that will bend over backwards no matter what. And she's attractive. Oh, she put a bullseye on her back. Because narcissists love attractive women who are doormats. Or who have daddy issues. Or who can be easily bamboozled. They love that shit. So, you know, I'm scared for her, to be quite honest. If I was her mother and I watched that, it would have made me cringe. I would have called her right away. It would have made me cringe. So, you know, this was really like weighing on my heart because I'm sure I'm older than her. As an older woman, I was like, oh, little sis, no. And he's an athlete. It's going to end badly. You guys tell me, do you think Cam Newton's going to get down on one knee and propose to this woman? What do you think? You guys know Cam better than me. I don't watch sports. Is he the type of personality that's going to get down on one knee and propose to her because she packs his bag? I mean, she's already asking him to act a certain way so she could be sexual with him. So he's already falling short. Okay, according to her, the reciprocity is not what she'd like it to be. You tell me. You guys are lighting up the comments, and I'm curious what you guys are saying. I know y'all gonna come for me today. I don't care. I ain't scared of y'all. I know y'all gonna come for me. I know you is. I'm probably gonna have no, Jen. We need somebody. We need somebody next week. All right, guys. I dropped the link. Come up and argue with me. I ain't scared of y'all. These come along. I'm gonna look through your comments really quickly. Thank you for the super chat, Grandel Williams. You didn't add a comment to it, so I think you're just showing me love for the smoothie. Thank you. I appreciate you very much. Let me see the jazz y'all talking to me because I know y'all talking to me. I know y'all starting to. If you're watching, hit the like for me, hit that subscribe and the notification bell. If you like what you hear, if you like what you see, you want to keep hanging with me, you have to know when I'm on. So the notification bell is even more important than clicking like and clicking subscribe. You have to hit that notification bell so you know when I'm on. There are hundreds of us, thousands of us going live all the time. And if you want to hang with me, you have to hit that notification bell. You will not know when I'm on. There's too many people on this motherfucker. All right, guys. So I'm going to look really quickly at the chat. I dropped the link if you want to come up. You see what I mean? Soup Bone is like, watch Jazzy gets it. Jabari said, why are people split on this? Jabari, I hope I explained it. The JR says she needs to wake up and become a little more feminine, put makeup on, dress well. Brittney does. It would give up more support for her. Who's her, the JR? Who's her? She needs to wake up and become a little more feminine, put makeup on, dress well. Brittney does it. Would I don't know who's her. You have to elaborate. I don't know who's her. Jabari says she has an Ivy League degree, but she could only articulate yourself like that. Okay, you're talking about the twerking politician. I dropped the link, guys. Come on up. Oh. The JR said in the past, another video was dug up where she went out of her way to bash submissive women. That I believe, because I'm familiar with some of her old stuff when she used to yell in the car. Little history on me and watch Jazzy. I don't know her, but one time I did a skit making fun of like all the female comedians who were getting popular yelling in their cars. Remember that time when a lot of the female comedians were yelling in their cars, and that was like that was their spiel, their skit, and they were getting a lot of Instagram followers yelling in their cars, talking about men and relationships. And I did a skit making fun of all those girls. And I had hashtagged Watch Jazzy and hashtag Just Hilarious. I hashtagged all of them. And I guess she got mad and she blocked me. And I was like, oh, girl, no sense of humor. Anyway, yeah, so she blocked me. But I'm not surprised that there was a video dug up where she went on her way to bash submissive women, because that was a lot of her material. Okay, we got Jabari backstage. Let me bring Jabari up while I sift through these. She's trying to secure the bag, probably. That's a big bag. Cam Newton is a big bag. What's up, Jabari?
Hey, Jen, how are you?
I'm really good. Good to see you. You always have something good to say. I know you asked why were people split on it. Were you talking about Watch Jazzy or the twerking politician?
The twerking politician. I didn't understand the split on that. She's not going to win. I mean, it's great, and you made a great point at the end with her. If her end goal was to be on the Young Turks or to get a bunch of followers and do a podcast, and because everybody wants to be internet famous,
right?
You know, so if that's her end game, and you know, I don't knock the hustle. AOC, whenever she pisses off the Democrats and they draw her out of her district, which might happen, she's going to be the same way. She's going to take those millions of followers, and she's going to parlay that into a seven-figure deal somewhere. So, you know, I don't hate the player; it's the game.
Right.
But
it's like,
yeah, that's trashy. Like, you're an elected official, but that's a whole like I saw that and I said I would not talk about that. So I've said all I'm gonna say about that. That's my level of disgust. Now the other thing, your submission versus mothering.
Yes.
I posted a super chat, a tiny one, because somebody already bought you a smoothie, so I just buy you a coffee. Or a donut. You know, I like the donut.
A donut. I don't drink coffee. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't drink coffee either. Get you a donut. But what you were saying is 100% accurate, and it's ironic because the chat agreed with you. Like, nobody was knocking. Nobody was pushing back.
I was looking at tomatoes. I was like, they coming for me.
No, because I swear, every time my dog hears your voice, she goes batshit crazy. I don't know what you did to my dog. She's outside barking now to get back in, and she was going crazy to go out right before I came up. But her ass gonna stay outside for a second. But no, be a man, get a woman. I remember as long as I've been alive, my uncles always told me that. My dad told me that. Be a man, get a woman. You be somebody. If you're looking for a partner, you're going to get a partner. If you're looking for a roommate, you're gonna get a roommate. You know, you you be a man. And in my world, and we've had these conversations, and people call me, I've been called a chauvinist. I believe I'm traditional. I believe a man should take care of all things financial in a house, and that includes, your wife. Notice that I use that. Wants, her nails, the stuff that it takes for her to remain the same beautiful woman she was when she met you. You handle all things financial, and she handles all things house. The head and the neck. You be the head and you let her be the neck. And the problem is people aren't will, and I didn't even realize this. And I ask this question all the time. When did that become controversial? Like it really was just understood. It was understood. Like that's why guys throughout the years have always put themselves at risk, in harm's way, to do more, to make more. That's why guys went into coal mines. Because the guys in the coal mines had the great insurance plans. They made the extra money. So even though they lived this dangerous life, while they were alive, they were coming home to the best looking ugly chick in the coal, in the coal community. Why do guys leave home? Why did black people at the end of slavery move out, for a better life? We always say, we always joke in my family, the men. The women in our family are like what you described. My mom, my dad, I don't think my dad has ever fixed his own plate. Ever. Like, but my mom will fuss with my dad because my mom works every day. So my mom will talk shit. They're all retired now. But even when my dad was military and, doing his stuff, and he was a guy's guy. He was a man's man, but his wife talked shit, that just was kind of how that worked. She worked too. I resolved, I'm going to earn enough where whoever I'm with doesn't have to work. And if what I make isn't enough for you, then we're probably not the right pair for each other. Because I know what I'm looking for, and I understand what comes with that. And I think people don't. And I just don't know when we lost that understanding, when the arrangement was broken, that men take care of your women if you want her to be that neck. If you want her to be your left arm, your left leg, the left two chambers of your heart, and the right part of your brain, because the right brain is on the left side. If you want all of that, you got to understand you're dealing with that, so, and that's amazing.
Can I jump in on a point you made? Because it's very, very important. A lot of men think that, well, you have to make a certain amount. What is Jen talking about? You have to make a certain amount to be able to pay all the bills. No, I don't care if you work at McDonald's. If you get you a woman that is okay with an apartment that McDonald's money can pay, then you're okay.
Right.
So you bait fish you can catch. There's so many people fishing in ponds they don't belong in. But if your goal is I'm going to be a manager at McDonald's, then get you a woman, right? It's not going to be me, but get you a woman who's satisfied with that. So it's not just women, not baiting fish that they can catch. It's men do it too. You really can't get everything you want in life if you're realistic.
I think we kind of do it a little bit more, unfortunately.
And you tell.
Well, because I think when women get on these panels and they're online and they say these things, I think they're just talking a lot of times. I think most women understand their weight class. And I think that men, and I have a theory on this, and it's unpopular, and I don't want to, it's your channel, and I don't want your channel to be flagged, but because social media is blocking people for everything these days. I know. But I have a very, we don't raise men to be men anymore. And 75% of households are raised by single mothers, so you can draw from that what you will. But we're not raising men anymore. We're not raising men to be men. We're raising men to be boys. And that's the issue. And then we're surprised when you raise a young man to be an old boy, you're surprised with the result. And I mean, even Like I know a lot. Like my parents went to school with Cam Newton's. My dad went to school with Cam Newton's dad. Like
Oh,
he's
okay.
from Atlanta, but his parents are both from Savannah, and they
Mhm.
grew up in my neighborhood, the neighborhood I grew up in, and so he's actually a real cool guy. But
Mhm.
I posted this in the comment. He's not marrying whoever he marries, and I don't think it'll be her, but whoever he marries is going to do all of those things for her because it's a mindset. Like a lot of the guys that are a certain age from our neighborhood understand the code. Like they're codes in life. Like you run from the police, you get caught, you can catch a beat down. You know,
Right.
they're codes in life. And you smiling because you know that code.
I've
That's a
seen it.
code.
I've been in situations in the Bronx where we ran. It did not end well.
You gonna catch an L. It's funny because I teach a class too. I do marketing. So I teach a marketing class, like an entrepreneurship marketing class. And I always tell the kids, I said, when I grew up, the cops used to tell you, look, if you run, don't run, don't run, don't run. If you run, you better get away. Because if I catch you, you're gonna spend the night at Memorial General. That's the indigent care hospital. That's where you're gonna spend the night if they catch you. It's rules. There are rules to the game. You don't talk trash to a man with a gun unless you're willing to get shot. There are rules to the game. There are rules to the game. You don't run up on a woman unless you can take care of that woman. It used to be a rule. You didn't put babies in women you didn't want to take care of or you didn't want to keep dealing with. I mean, there used to be rules, and the rules have all fallen to the wayside. And I believe a lot of that is the result of young men being raised to be old boys by women who are looking for their sons to be their husbands. I said it. I said it. Because if you raise not all, quick. Yeah, get that in. Now you see why I don't have a channel. You have to but you have to take responsibility. Like honestly, you have to take responsibility if you want to be that guy who expects his woman to have food ready. If you expect your woman, and I like to cook, so that's not really my thing. But if you don't want a woman who's going to be telling you, I got a headache all the time. If you want to get, if you want that swerve, when you want that swerve, you can't be having no other man telling your woman what to do all day for 8 hours a day. That's just not how the game works. That's just not how the game works. If you want your woman to be your woman and not her boss's woman, I'm sorry, not her boss's girl, then you need to step up.
All this shit is so cringe to me. I want to read the super chats. You said earlier, Jabari, when did the stuff you were saying become controversial? Be a man and get a woman, be a partner and get a partner. Thank you for the super chat. Necessary evil always coming through. She says submitting, yes. Mothering, no, because some men don't know the difference. Submitting is death. It can be. I've seen it. I've seen women driven into the ground submitting to a man that did not deserve submission. And I will say this, I'm speaking from both sides. I've been in relationships where I got to be the feminine little me and cook and clean and be spontaneous and sexy. And I've been in relationships where I was doing the 50-50 thing. And when I tell you I was miserable, I was fucking miserable. I lost respect. And some people say, oh, why'd you lose respect? Just because he could. Yes, I don't give a fuck. I'm unapologetic about it. When I'm out there busting my ass and I'm in my masculine, as you guys like to say, a lot of guys like to say, you and I are partners now. And partners like bros, like roommates, like how much you got on this bill this month? Okay, well, I got this much on this bill. And I'm not caring whether my bra and panty matches. I'm not caring whether or not you ate. I'm calling you up like, eat something because I'm not going to cook tonight. I got home at 6. So I've been on both sides. And let me tell you, honey, that 50-50 shit is no way to live. It's just no way to live. Now, some women like it.
Agreed.
It's not for me. It's not for me. Been there, done that. I didn't even get the t-shirt. No, I salute women.
You got the t-shirt, Jen.
No, I didn't even get the fucking t-shirt, Jabari. So I salute women who do it, but I just want men to understand that women lose their femininity when they're out there hustling. They just do it. Like you said, you made a great point. That's like she's now her boss's girl. You know what I'm saying? That's his favorite chick, his favorite worker. They're joking around the water cooler and joking at her front desk. I worked front desk my whole life. That front desk, woo, the meetings at that front desk. I'm talking about married or single. All the men are there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's like you put your woman in a position to be around other men who are affluent, attracted to her. It's a slippery slope, guys. It's a slippery slope. So either have realistic goals and get you a woman that's cool with your budget, okay? Or make it so your woman doesn't have to work, because you change the dynamic of the gender roles. There's a lot of complaining. There's not a lot of doing to avoid these things.
You know what's sad, Jen? You know what's sad? I think you made a great point. We're happier. People are happier in the traditional roles. People are happier in the traditional roles. You know, we always want to say, I want that 50-50. No, the hell you don't. You settle for 50-50. Guys, we want to have sex when we come home from work. I mean, I'm saying it. I'm saying it. And you want your lady to look good. You want her to be ready for it. And she's not going to be ready for it if she's been getting hit on all day. She got to jump on this. I don't know. You live in Atlanta, I'm back in Savannah. She on the subway, or she got to stop, get gas. She's getting hit on all the time, everywhere she goes.
And then you come home to this guy,
right? Like,
who you have to share bills with, and there he is sitting in his underwear, and you're like, I'm not fucking cooking tonight. I've been there.
Necessary Evil just dropped another jewel, man. I make decisions all day in my profession. I don't want to have to do that with my partner.
Hello.
Like, that's real. People are. It's funny. I was reading.
Man, listen, man. Stop being boneheaded. Listen to when women are saying it and saying it nicely. See, we're not bashing you. This is free game. Listen.
And it doesn't have to be. You said, Jen, you said something that was like a shoot and a score. I have several, not in any derogatory. I have several Mexican homeboys, and their wives don't work. These dudes work at like FedEx. They work at the post office. A couple of them work now. The ports is different. You make $200,000 in a city where average person making 35 on the ports. But these guys are working blue collar jobs. Their wives don't work. Like, they hold it down. Now they'll work a second job before their wife works, but their wives are doing the same thing that your girl was just talking about. So you don't have to don't chase Cam's girl, because you're not going to get Cam's girl. You're not going to get Cam's girl, but you can still get a great woman who's going to love the hell out of you, who's going to be she's going to be a woman. She's going to be your neck. Yep. And she'll allow you to be her head. If you stop chasing, if you stop trying to punch out your league. And
no, because I'm like, you're chasing.
And porn has done that to us though. As guys, I don't knock porn in the slightest, but porn has done that. Porn makes guys believe that everybody can get the baddest chick alive with the, you know what I'm saying? Because you see this fat, ugly dude or this skinny dude,
Mia Khalifa, is that her name?
Oh my God. She needs, don't get me wrong, the unibrow chick. But everybody thinks that they can get that porn star. You know what I'm saying? It's made it made it seem so accessible. But you don't realize, if you want to bang, you can go bang most of those porn stars if you got $2,000 an hour.
Yeah,
that's that reality check for you.
Here's the AVN over here.
Yeah.
They do the AVN.
Go to the AVNs, pay your little $200, $300 for the fee, and go in with your $2,500, $3,000. You can nail any of them porn any of your little fantasies. But how many of you guys can afford that mere $2,500 that I just named? And I'm not a guy who shames a person for what they make. You know what I'm saying? But don't punch out of your weight class. We try to live up in this. We try to live above our means, and we punch out of our weight class. And you know what happens? I don't know, Jen, you're a fight fan. When Roy Jones got inside that ring with 95-year-old Mike Tyson. 95-year-old Mike Tyson. And Mike hit his ass once. And Roy said, cut these gloves off. I'm too old for this. I mean, that's just real.
It's not worth it. I'm out.
That's what happened when you punch out of your weight class.
And it's true because it's like, it's so unrealistic. Like these guys are like, watch Jazzy, watch Jazzy. She's like, she's looking at Cam Newton. And after Cam Newton, she's already in the pool where it's like, oh, I could date athletes now. I used to yell in my car and try to be funny 3 years ago. Now I'm dating athletes. Okay. So she's just going to go up from there. She's not going to go back down. You know what I mean? She's like, no, I'm trying to secure this bag. I don't have any kids yet. What do you think about what Tristan said? He said, I'll say Jabari is 70% right because my mom would say she raised me wrong because she said I raised you to be a husband rather than just being someone's boyfriend, which my dad had to teach me.
See, I don't think it's about being raised to be a boy. Be raised to be a man. Like if you're a man, being a husband comes naturally when you're a man. Like when you were just raised to be a man, being a husband comes natural because that means you are a protector. You do know how to hold it down. You are going to do what it takes to keep her, you know. There was I heard my granddad say this one time, and I still laugh about this. I still make this. And I heard a comedian say it too. He was going to work one day. He's like, all right. He walked by this big mirror that they had in their living room. They had a pool table. It's like a den. Actually, it was more of a den than a living room. And he walked by, he stopped at the mirror. He was like, all right, let's go make this money to make this bitch happy. And he walked out the door. And he was general
contract. Just go out there and do it.
Whatever it takes, you know. But you know, when you got to do what you got to do. If you're willing to have, if you're willing to do the partner or the roommate, that's fine. That's just understand that there's a reason why more people are on drugs today. You know, antidepressant drugs. We make more money than we ever had. We have more luxuries than we've ever had. We have a lower mortality rate, lower child mortality rate. We're living better than we ever have, and people have never been so miserable because we've abandoned a lot of the things that we are genetically predisposed to do. You know, be a man, be a man, find a woman you can take care of, a woman who allows you to take care of her, and be happy with that.
I wanted to highlight what Don Levon said because it's deep and it's not. And I'm glad a man is saying it, right? I'm glad a man said this. He said, your woman having to ask another man for permission to go on vacation with you isn't cool. And men have to understand that women start seeing you as more. It becomes a sibling relationship. Those are the facts, man. That is how we feel. Do we love you? Yes. I've asked my friends who have been together over 30 years. I asked her, and I'm going to change her name for privacy. I said, hey, Julie, do you still love John? I'm just kidding. You guys I've known you since I was 10 years old. She was like, hesitated, still together, married, 2 kids, hesitated. She was like, well, I don't know, like he's like a brother. I was like, see, I can't do that. I cannot end up in a marriage where after 30 years, I'm looking at a sibling across the room. I cannot do it. I refuse. I will not. I will stay single before I have another roommate situation. I cannot do it. And I want to speak on submission really quickly because men are confused as to what submission is. Submission, the way Watch Jazzy was talking about it, was from a position of weakness. She has low self-esteem. She wants her daddy. She feels like if she bends over backwards, this man is going to love her, love her, love her. But I feel like submission comes from a place of power. I can do what I want to do. I can say what I want to say, but I'm going to transfer that power to this man. That to me is real submission. That's healthy submission. And that's the submission that men should have and want. But they want to watch Jazzy. I scratch his back till he falls asleep. I cut his sandwiches. I know what he wants to eat before. That's not healthy. It's wet nurse mammy behavior. To me, that's why the term beat into submission exists. beat into submission. In other words, that person wasn't submitting. You had to beat them down either physically or mentally for them to submit. So similarly, a woman is coming in with her own, yeah. But I'm transferring that problem. Like, you know what? You're right, babe. Whatever you want to do. That to me is submission. If I want to eat, let's say, salmon tonight, and he's like, no, I don't want salmon. Can you make the steak? I wanted salmon, but he wants steak, so let me make him steak, this one time for him or whatever. That to me is healthy submission. It doesn't come from a place of weakness, like, let me make steak because I know he don't eat steak. That to me, that's terrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. So I don't know what people think submission is, but it comes from a position of it's more like, it's not love me. I'm gonna do what you want so you can love me. That's just not healthy. It's not healthy.
You can't force
I don't get men saying that.
You can't force a person to love you. Like, that's something that we can't, and you can't screw a guy into loving you. I've had people that tried, and I tried to screw them into loving them too, and it just doesn't work. Like, you can try, and they can be phenomenal, but it just won't work. Like, I wanted it to work. I really wanted it to work because, like, the sex, I wanted it to work.
Listen, I've screwed a guy trying to make him more driven. It doesn't.
That
work.
Doesn't work.
It doesn't
work. We hit walls. We're gonna be who we are. And accept people. When a person shows you who they are, believe them. People, you can't change someone. A person has to want to change. And right. I think that's the delusion that Hollywood gives us, romance novels give us, porn gives us men, that things that just change. But I mean, you got to bring what she's looking for to the table if you want what you're looking for brought to the table as well. I think that's my position on the whole submitting or nannying. And no, I don't think anybody wants well, no, that's not true. There are some people who are as fragile mentally as the women are broken mentally who would want that. But most guys, like you said, you want that healthy balance where you could tell that she don't really feel like cooking, mm-hmm. but she'll cook for you. Mm-hmm. And because you hungry, you just eat. You don't give her that pass. I know that sounded bad. That sounded real bad. But you be hungry sometimes, so you don't give out that waiver. So because you do be wanting to eat, and she can cook, so you do give out that waiver. You don't give out that waiver. But at the same time, there are days when, or my thing is, I like to date women who like to travel. Mm-hmm. I like to date.
I like dating men who like to travel too.
Well, the thing is,
with their money, not stolen money or anything.
Money. See, again. You're not anybody trying to get, like, I ain't pretty. I ain't no punk, but I ain't trying to be locked up. Like, I'm sorry. I got family members who locked up and, they institutionalized. That ain't my life. I'm just not that guy.
Locked up because I wanted to see the pyramids in Egypt now.
Yeah, no. But it's too many legitimate ways to make money without breaking the law.
Right, absolutely.
But I mean, that really does eliminate it classifies. Mm-hmm. It classifies who you date. Like, you walk in with certain things in your mind, like, I like to take trips. And you have people who don't. Like, you have people who like, I just want to go and get a burger.
Right.
I like, I was joking. I said I work every day because we got to eat, but I like steak. And I only eat top cut tenderloin. For those who don't know what the colloquial name for that is, filet mignon. That's the steak I like.
The filet mignon.
The mignon. Get me the mignon.
Give me the mignon and the scrimps.
Because I like my steak tender. So okay. And I don't like it from everywhere because I like a certain cut. Like, I'm bougie when it comes to food. I ain't gonna even sit there and lie to you. Bougie about my food. which is why I shop, at farmers markets, because I plan on living forever. But I mean, you when you take a person out and you say, I like to eat this, and if they cringe, that's not the person. You're not in the same weight class. Hey, let's go to, I live in Georgia. Let's go to Charleston for the weekend. If they're like, why? That's the wrong person for you.
I love that. Like that's dope. But everybody, you're right. Everybody's not like, everybody's like, why? Why do you want to go over there?
Yeah, but it's your, what's his name? That's how I mean, it's an easy way. I'm dropping a few gems. It's an easy way to classify, to sort out who's in your weight class and who's not. And it's not even about money. It's not even always about money, because you can take.
That's what I tell people. It's not.
You can take weekend trips to places close by that you've never been, and they are incredible. Like, for anybody who's looking to go to paradise for not a lot of money, Medellin, Colombia. You're looking to go to an exotic, beautiful beach for no money, for like literally next to nothing. Stay a week for less than $1,000 at a 5-star hotel. Go to Cartagena in Colombia. Go down to Argentina. These places are beautiful, safe. And I'm just saying, but we want to go to Jamaica.
Right. So what do you think about welcome, Mr. T? How are you? Testing 1 2, Mr. T. Are you with us?
He pity the fool.
Mr. T, are you with us? Okay. So, what do you think about specifically for this girl, Watch Jazzy? Because I know you can't stay long, but specifically for the topic for Watch Jazzy, what do you think about that dynamic between her and, out of all people, Cam Newton? I saw someone say in the chat earlier, she's not doing him any favors because of who he is. Any woman would do that for Cam Newton. So it's not like a guy that works FedEx and just, ran into this gem who's going to cater to him. That's his regular. That's what's going to happen.
That's also his expectation. That's also his expectation. And, but he did the work to be in that position. We talk a lot about athletes, especially professional athletes. It's a lot of sacrifice that goes into that. Like, I coach. It's a lot of sacrifice that goes in, and it's not just luck. It's not just luck. It's choosing the right school, choosing the right coaches, choosing to not be out drinking, tearing up the place all the time when you're in college. You don't live the life of a normal college student. You live the life of a college athlete. I mean, they're just like, we look in our society, we look at the end result. We don't look at the road that was traveled to get there. So I don't fault guys for being professional athletes and, the $100 million over 5 years. I don't fault a guy for that, because you put in that work to get there. Sports is one of our last meritocracies in this country. So, but Cam ain't gonna be with no girl who ain't doing all of that. I can tell you that flat out. If you ain't doing all of that and dim sum, like our Asian friends say, all that and dim sum, you ain't gonna be with him. You're just not. And he can demand that, though. Yeah. Everybody can.
And the fact that she said that, there's not really, reciprocity, really was like, okay, girl, yeah. Like, you have to tell him to do this and tell him to do that. So he's like, it's whatever. Mr. T, what say you? Okay, this guy's not ready, whoever it is. All right, so I just get rid of him. So do you think, just to close really, but when I watched the interview, I was like, in my opinion, just I don't have a PhD in psychology, but just in my opinion, she didn't seem to me mentally stable. There was too many things she said where I was like, oh, you're just that girl. You're looking for that daddy. You're looking for love. But I'm like, so many people just overlook that.
No, she was sending up red flags like a mug. Like, I was, she was sending up red flags like a mug. Like, you don't want crazy. Like, you don't want, like, I've had beautiful crazy, and I'm telling you, guys, run. Like, no woman is beautiful enough to be crazy. Like, it's just not worth it, man. It's just not. So, Yeah, like Tristan said, she's not happy. But most people aren't happy, and but we can be, and that's the if we spend more time learning who we are and less time trying to put an image of ourselves online, if we put that same amount of time of learning about ourselves and then trying to make ourselves the person we want to be, we'd be a lot happier. But yeah, I'm actually, I'm just, I don't understand a lot of these mindsets. I don't understand a lot of the mindsets. And if you can lock down that moment where our societal shift happened, where people started, that'd be great. Because I actually zoned in the moment when it became okay to disrespect black women, or not just black women, because Latinos, y'all just Spanish speaking black women too. But the Dre Day video when Dre, when the girl was walking through the crowd and she didn't give nobody no play, and then they shook up and sprayed the beer bottle all over her just because she, exactly the scene I'm talking about.
I do.
And
there's been a couple of videos where they've been spraying women.
If you think about it, that's one of the earliest. Like I haven't been able to find a video earlier than that. So, and if you know anything about Dr. Dre and his treatment, that makes perfect sense.
Right. I think Damien Dash did that too in a video.
Yeah, but that was after.
Yeah.
I mean, just people that are, if you can lock down the moment that we said, you know what, it's okay. But until we start raising our young men to be men, we're going to continue. And the problem is it's seeping into other cultures now. See, when it was just us, it wasn't as big a deal. But now that's everywhere. Now you can't escape it. Right. Now the white dudes, now the Chads are like that. There's no escaping it. Like it's bled over into the entire society. And you see the degradation of our society as a result of that, because you won't raise men to be men.
So the JR is like delusional broads really and truly think they all deserve these caliber of men. And I learned this a long time ago, since 2010, when I began pumping and dumping. Here's the thing. Men think they deserve the watch Jazzies, and they don't. I'm telling you guys, men are just as delusional as women. They're just as delusional, except women, okay, because we're nurturers and mothers, we're taught to love. We'll take the bum in the street without the pot the piss in a window to throw it out of, because innately we're nurturers. We think we can fix everybody and love everybody to health. Like Watch Jazzy said. She literally said, I think I can heal people with love. I can love people to health. That is how women think. So they will take the guy that has nothing. So as far as women being delusional, think they deserve those caliber of men. Men think men are delusional too. If I showed you my inbox and the ogres and trolls that are in there, you know what I mean? Toothless, talking about, I'm saying, though, you ain't gonna talk to me. It's the same mentality. It's the same exact mentality. All right, Jabari, I don't know if you want to hang tight for a minute and see what Mr. T has to say really quickly. Mr. T, are you with us? If not, then I have to take you off the stream again.
Hello?
Yes.
You can hear me, can you?
Yes.
We hear you fine.
How you been? You okay, Jen? How you been?
Really good, thank you. How are you? What say you?
It's me, Tony. How you been? UK, Hi. London.
I'm really good. Yeah, I know. What do you have to say?
It's been a minute. Yeah. Basically, I mean, it's a conflicting view I'm going to give you. Basically, not saying I fully agree with it, but obviously, as people of the world, who are academic people who look around and learn and look and learn, there's the thing, like the brother rightly said, men want the wives at home. The man goes out to work. It's the old school way, the old school mentality. The male goes out to work. The woman stays at home and does the caring side of things. As you rightly said, the nurturing. I agree with that. But this is the spin, though, yeah? And I'm going into, a bit of sociology here, okay? it could be argued that men, by doing that, are keeping women in their place. So, you know, there's a whole idea that, you know, we're going back now to that archaic idea that men are the ones that roam and hunt, then they find their wives, and the wives, when they pair with women, the women keep them there. So the man's not going around, you know, spreading his seed as such, but he's staying with the one woman and providing and doing that right thing. So in a way, relationships and coupling are a form of social control for the man as well. Make sense? The thing is this: in turn, you're keeping the woman in check. So, like you said, she'll be at home playing the housewife, you'll be out there playing the man, and you're playing the man role, and she's playing the female role. Okay? The thing is, you're keeping her in check for you. So, you know what I mean? It runs deep. She's not going to be out there peacocking or at work, as you said, because she'll be at home being under her man. Does that make sense? Yes?
Yes.
Right. But so technically speaking, you know, and a lot of women have clocked onto this and are saying, hold on, you know, I want to go out there and work. You don't own me. You know what I mean? That kind of mentality. Does that make sense? What's your view on that?
Me or Jabari?
What's your view? Sorry, what's your view to what I just said?
Well, I agree. Yeah, that is exactly what we were talking about. If a woman is able to stay at home and be a homemaker and be a wife, she's not going to be out there peacocking. But I don't know about us going backwards, because a lot of men are just saying they want a traditional woman, but they can't afford one. So I don't see us going backwards, because a lot of things are getting inflation, things are getting more expensive.
Exactly.
The rents are going up. The more, it's really bad. It's really bad.
Yeah.
So men can say they want traditional women, but they can't afford it. That's like men saying, I want a Lamborghini. You can't afford it. Except,
I agree with that.
You can't go to the Lamborghini dealership and curse out, you know, the Lamborghini salesman.
This is it.
But you can bash women online because you have access to beautiful women that you can't afford to provide for. But you're not going to go to Lamborghini and, you know, bash the guy selling Lamborghinis, right?
True that. Very true.
I agree that they want tradition, but they can't afford it. They just can't.
It's funny. It's funny. Sorry to interrupt you. It's funny because I was speaking to a girl I know quite well, and she's saying about her relationship, saying about, you know, he thinks he owns me because he goes out and works. Yeah. The reality is he doesn't. Yeah. That's what I see that. And it causes a friction because the families are saying to her, hold on, he's out there working for you. He's putting his quote back out for you. But she's saying no, you know, and what she's actually saying is, you know, you don't own this kind of thing. You know what I mean? The old saying, because you're the man, you go out and work, blah, blah, blah. You don't own this. And that's the counter argument. That's what I'm saying. And that's what goes back to what I was saying in terms of, because you're the man, you come home and work and blah, blah, blah. Arguably, you may not own what although you're providing, you may not own it as such. That's the point I was making.
Okay. I'm looking at the JR. I see your comments, but I have to vehemently disagree because I'm telling you that the majority of men, okay, really don't know where they are in life. They just think that if a woman is attractive, he's owed, you know what I mean, reciprocity again of attraction. Like he really believes that no matter what he looks like or what he has, if he sees an attractive woman, she is to return his affection, attraction, or whatever. That is what women experience day in and day out. Trust me when I tell you.
I don't think it's about owning anybody either. I think that's a misnomer. I think that's how you end up with the woman who goes on the girl trip vacations and screws the cabana boy.
Those cabana boys, Jabari.
You know, you want to get the Savannah boy, not the cabana boy, but that's a whole nother thing. The when you walk in with that dynamic, it's not a ownership. It's an understanding. It's an unspoken agreement that you can't expect your wife, your lady, to be just your lady when you have to share her with the office, when you have to share her with that other guy. You just can't. Don said it earlier. How you the man and your girl got to ask if she can go on vacation with you? It's
Mm.
it's that's not about ownership. Her job owns her. If anything, you want to talk about, I don't need no man. Well, you need either a man or a woman, whoever's paying those bills for you. Whoever's writing you that check, somebody, you need them, unless you are. So why not be with somebody? Why not need somebody